Good morning, everyone. Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, come on. Welcome to another casted game. Today we have Jatin, here in the color red. For the sake of convenience, I'll just call him Titty. And we have Pacomike, or rather Pacomike. He's from Mexico, so I guess Pacomike would be the right pronunciation in the color yellow. Jatin, a Titty, on Diamond 1, Diamond 2, I believe, right now with this account. And Pacomike on Diamond 2 currently. An interesting matchup between two very strong civs. Japanese in the color yellow and Mongols in the color red. In terms of scouting, both trying to find sheep as quickly as possible before their TC supplies run out. Same for Pacomike here. So usually you would want to get back to your TC with some sheep by the end of 2 minutes. That's usually when your pre-sheep stock runs out. So you want to get to your TC as soon as possible. Let's see. Three villagers on wood, meaning that we might see a tower rush, obviously. A classic strategy for Mongol, usually shutting down any early, or rather civs that prefer fast castle, because they usually put down a tower on their gold, or night civs that rely on gold for producing those aggressive cavaliers, or rather cavalry units in feudal age. But in this case, Pacomike seems to have struck gold quite literally, because his gold is placed safely behind his base. So the Mongol player would have to travel a bit extra here to reach the gold ore. Seems like three spears are already on the map. The villager moving in. Let's see what Jatin is able to see right now. He hasn't spotted the gold mine yet. He's trying to see if he can spot it. He's losing crucial time here. The more gold Japanese has access to, the more problems they will cause for you later on. The Japanese usually prefer playing in the Castle Age because of their very strong Castle Age units, the Samurai, even though they have access to Samurai in the Second Age. Really finally managing to spot the gold here. And Japan aging up with the Kura storehouse, giving them those free farms, and in case the farms are blocked, they get free wood that they can put to good use. A very nice position for the tower, potentially blocking not only the gold ore but also blocking the farms that will be generated from the Kura storehouse, making those farms pretty ineffective. On the other hand, Jatin has moved his wills to gold now, looking for an age up. Rather, macroing for an age up. I'd be curious to see what he ages up with. Japan has managed to find quite a lot of sheep, I would say. 11 under the TC and a few dead carcasses on which the villagers are working right now. So Japan should be okay in terms of food for now, but if they plan on aging up anytime soon, they need to find another alternative for gold. Mongol on the other side, aging up with the silver tree. Fan favorite landmark. Perfect for the Mongol civ. Of course, the Mongol trade is one of the strongest trade in the game. Even after the nerf they received, they're still one of the strongest trading civs in the game. And the whole Mongol strat usually is to lock you in your base while they have their sweet trade going on behind the scene. And by the time you realize they are so ahead in eco that they pretty much succumb you to death with their economic might. So the Japanese gold ore, or rather the default gold ore that the Japanese player had access to, has been sealed by the Japanese now, so they won't have access to it unless they produce units and burn down this tower, which I think the Mongol will try his best to avoid. The second production building comes in, the stable, so we are looking for a Keshik transition. It seems like the right choice here, since the Japanese will be producing archers here to deal with the spears, but the Keshik will be able to deal with the archers very quickly. But what do we have here? Of course, Pacomike, realizing that Mongol Keshiks are coming, he starts producing spear to defend his his archers. Sorry. Japanese archers, the Yumi Ashigaru, are possibly one of the worst archers in the game. So it'll be very important for the Japanese to not only mass up but micro them properly to get most value out of it. Pacomike trying to spot what's going on, just making sure his info is, or rather his assumption is correct. And indeed, he finds experimental evidence here. Confirms his assumption that indeed the Mongols are switching to a spear Keshik combo, and the Japanese civilization is making the right counter for it. The Yumi Ashigaru going out on the map on their own. Seems like a good call, to be honest, because he knows the Keshiks are yet to come. So he tries to pick off some stray spears as soon as possible, just to thin the numbers. Pacomike massing up. The Japanese, while massing up army, Mongol is busy clearing out the trade route. As you can see, the Khan just goes around the trade route, making sure he gets those pesky wolves out of the way. It's a nice thing to do. Usually people forget about them and they just keep nicking your traders every now and then. Very annoying, to be honest. You get those markers all over your minimap. It's very confusing. Very falling back a bit, seeing the numbers, he realizes this is a fight he does not want to take. The silver tree is in the base, so usually an experienced Mongol player would start producing the first trader right away instead of sending the silver tree to the other side of the map, causing potential downtime. While he will make a secondary market and send that away instead. So the first trade starts away as soon as the silver tree is made. There is no downtime at all. Very nice. Keshiks fighting the spears, and this was possibly a mismanagement here. Ideally, the archers should have aimed for the spear, because these spears are dealing quite a bit of damage to the cavalry. Keshiks are expensive units, you don't want to lose them. Mongol, even though trying their best to keep the Japanese civ away from gold, the Japanese seem to have moved to the second gold mine. Pretty sure the Mongol is aware of this. So he has definitely seen this gold mine, so he knows that eventually, if Japanese is not trying to take down this tower, is definitely moving on to another gold resource, or rather gold ore. So I'm expecting some sort of a raid. Very, very nice positioning of Scout in the hidden forest, giving Terry great info in terms of the Japanese army movements. Something you definitely want to be aware of when you are fighting in feudal, because you don't want to lose your units, you don't want to take fights which you are not really well informed about. Having right counters in the feudal is absolutely crucial. The Japanese have quite a few spears in there. In terms of macro, not sure if the Japanese is still thinking about a castle age, because the way he is macroing, it seems like a castle age timing might be on the plate, as in he ages up and then pushes with his superior army. Mongol seems to be all in feudal. He wants to stay in feudal as long as he can, purely because of the fact that he has a superior army comp with the Keshiks. Japanese players spotting out the trade and try to disrupt a bit. Cause some interruptions in the trade line, but he moves away. In terms of villager distribution, of course, the Mongols eventually start moving their gold villages away from gold because they get the gold from their trade. So this villager distribution might be a bit misleading. Japanese mixing in a bit of Onabugeisha. Infantry killers. Very high movement speed, very high DPS. You do not want them getting close to your archer mass. Mongol pushing back the Japanese quite a bit. The Japanese realizing that if they age up now, it'd be very hard for them to survive. In terms of the playstyle triangle, if we analyze the situation, the Japanese is trying to turtle up. As you can see, they're putting in walls, gathering their army in their base. While the Mongol is trading, which is a sign of boom. So like as Mongols, you definitely want to boom in this situation, because a boom will definitely kill a turtle. Also taking advantage of the fact that the Japanese player is locked in his base, that he goes out on the map and nabs all the resources that are available openly, not having to worry about possible raids. A bit of poking here and there, making sure the Japanese stays turtled. And of course, Jatin, or rather Teddy, knowing the fact that Japan was going to try to get some gold from somewhere, sends in a raiding party, taking out that, rather scaring the villagers off. Japanese player trying their best to push the Mongol army back to their base. They have numbers advantage, and of course having access to quicker resupply means they also have defenders advantage. So this will be a bit hard for the Mongol to win, but I don't think Mongol is trying to win here. Just trying to buy more and more time. You see the number of Number of traders here, Mongol is already on 13. So it's getting quite a bit of gold income. If we look here, he has 5 wills on gold, but he is already getting about 400 and a half per minute. Those, which is a good number. The Japanese have been pushed off the gold ore for now, so no gold for them. And the fact that they are not really making gold heavy units is, I guess, matches up with the situation, so it should be okay. Even though in terms of upgrades, I think they have most of the important upgrades here in terms of military research. In terms of economic research, they don't have anything. City, on the other hand, having 23 villagers on wood means you will need to have access to lumber preservation in order to get maximum value out of those villagers. Mongol trying their best to keep the Japanese army away from their trade line. And making sure he raids the Japanese player every now and then to keep him off the gold, because if Japan ages up, then the situations might be reversed, because then Mongol will be on back foot, because Japanese mounted samurai are not something you want to take lightly. And they will be all over the Mongol trade, and no trade, no game. Seems like we are lacking Keshik numbers here. This fight is something the Mongol would definitely want to avoid. And also the Ona Bagesha running into the archer mass will make things very difficult for the Mongols. City trying to pause the trade for now, trying to save as many traders as he can. You can't really save everyone, can you? So we have a bannerman in here boosting the archer mass. Good call from the Japanese. While Diddy, on the other hand, making sure he keeps raiding the Japanese player and not letting him take the gold freely. An absolute master play here from the Mongol. And he is slowly but steadily adding towers here and there, both for vision and I guess also in terms of having access to YAM network when he upgrades or rather ages up. The Japanese base has been raided quite severely in terms of villager count, even though not entirely sure if this number also includes the economic units like fishing ships and traders, but if this is correct, then Japanese player has lost quite a lot of units. This to and fro push and pull game is exactly what the Mongol wants. The longer the trade goes on, the better his eco becomes, the harder it becomes for the Japanese player to kill him. In terms of gold, sure, the Japanese has enough gold to age up, but he is constantly being harassed whenever he tries to go on the gold mine, because even if you age up, you need that gold to get the research that third age offers, and also you need a lot of gold to make these deluxe units that you get as the Japanese player. So access to gold is crucial for the Japanese to age up and actually get some benefit out of it, because in this case, if he somehow stops producing units and ages up, then the Mongol will straight away walk into their base because they know that they have no resources to produce any army. That is exactly what the Mongol wants, perhaps. The Japanese being very cautious not to make that mistake. He is constantly producing villagers. In terms of villager distribution, seems like yeah, that this has to be traders included. Like both of them are 1 TC, wouldn't make sense for them to have this kind of even though the Mongol player has got decent raids. I mean, he's killed a lot of villagers still. Big fight going on in the middle of the map. The Japanese player pushing in with the Onabagesha spears, a bannerman in the mix. Yeah. And Yumi Ashigaru going after the Mongol trade. Japanese player still missing on the eco upgrades, perhaps because of the fact that he does not really have that many wills on the resources that he will perhaps get these upgrades for. And he could at least get horticulture and the wheelbarrow, but I mean this gold is just being banked and not really being used. Interestingly, if you see what the Mongol is doing, he's using every bit of resource he's earning, which is crucial, because if you know that your enemy is pushing, there is no point in banking those resources unless you know that you'll be able to survive. In case of Mongols, turtling is not something Mongols are really experts in due to the lack of walls and lack of tower fortifications. Sure, you get emplacements, but if your tower gets knocked down by a couple of spears, then it's not really helpful, is it? The Japanese player sending in a couple of horsemen to go after the trade, but the Kesheks find them, even though the Kesheks won't be able to catch up to the horsemen. They are really fast, so no point in trying. In terms of vision, I think Titty has done an amazing job. I think you can see half of the map. It's like map hack. Discount map hack, rather. You get the idea. In terms of traders, he's on 26 traders at this point. That's an insane number. Let's look at the resource income. It's 1400 gold per minute. That's insane. It's just 5 villages, of course, so the trade is booming. Japanese player still struggling, not aging up, fighting feudal. Not really sure how good Japan is in terms of fighting feudal, because the archers are weak. Sure, with the bannermen they get a lot of bonus, but still. The Japanese player finally deciding to invest the gold on some units, making those samurais. But in terms of military numbers, Mongol is pretty much playing toe to toe here. Two Kesheks entering the back line, looking for some raids. And if you see the waypoint, it's really informative. You know, it's a learning experience every time I see Jatin, aka Titi, play. It's really interesting how he plays the games. He's fighting main battles while he's raiding from 2-3 angles behind the base. So even if the Japanese wins the fight, I mean, even if it's a stalemate, rather, not wins the fight, you still fall behind because you're losing villages left and right. See, just killing every villager. The horseman diving on the wrong unit, it seems. But I think Mongols won't be able to win this fight. He needs to back off, else he'll lose this army. Which I think he will. On the other side, villagers are being decimated in the Japanese base. So, heavy losses. Heavy losses. While in terms of resource, I don't think Mongols are having any issue. Their eco count is through the roof at this point. In terms of pop count, I think he's halfway there already. Japanese struggling to make a dent in the Japanese eco. Sneaky villager trying to put down a base for that extra vision. Like I said, like map hack, can see everything. He knows everything. He shall not be surprised. The Japanese player losing more and more units, I mean, it's just down to 4-3. A handful of military units. At this point, there's nothing stopping the Mongol to, you know, can just walk into the Japanese base with some rams. And the kind of eco Mongol has right now, I don't think that thought hasn't crossed his mind already. Insane number of traders at 46 right now. Holy smokes. I think we are inching towards a final battle because Japan has no goal to age up. He has to fight in feudal, and the more he stays in feudal, the more he turtles, the more boom the Mongol player gets. You know, the more of an opportunity the Mongol player gets to boom. So the more Mongol booms, the harder it gets for the opponent to kill them, and we see the Japanese yield. He taps out. What an amazing display of skill here from the Mongol player. If you have managed to stick around so far, thank you very much. If you liked what you saw, feel free to subscribe, and if you think there's anything I can improve, write it down in the comment section. I'll see to it. Until next time, see ya, take care, bye bye.